Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. As per usual, I will be going over my normal schedule of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, Omigo, Lisk, Cardano, and Iota, all of those in that order, in a more detailed technical analysis on TradingView in just a second. If you haven't purchased cryptocurrencies yet, go check out Coinbase. I have a referral link in the description where you can get $10 free worth of Bitcoin when you sign up. And let's get started with the general market update. So we can see that a lot of green today in the market. Most of the cryptocurrencies that took a hit yesterday actually got a pretty nice bounce. Most notably Litecoin, now up 12% over the past 24 hours. Ethereum bounced pretty nicely as well, up about 8% over the past 24 hours, back above $700. Litecoin back above $300. So those are pretty important bounces right there. And Bitcoin kind of flat right now. Ripple up slightly. Iota actually did get a bounce here off that $3.50 level. So it's good to see that it's moving back up. And other than that, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but you can see that pretty much green across the board really here today. I mean, there's very few that are actually in the red. And yeah, I mean, it looks like the crypto market is still in bullish mode, still moving higher. So nothing really to be worried about for now. Everything looks pretty strong. We can jump right into the technical analysis, I think. Let's start off with Bitcoin here. So what's happening with Bitcoin is it is actually moving slowly but surely higher. You can see that we are still holding above our short-term uptrend line over here. So despite the fact that we're pulling back a little bit on this candlestick, we're still in, uptrending motion. We have to try to break above this high of $17,934, which is the high of this candlestick, before we, really made a higher high here in the short term. And that could definitely happen, but we want to see a bounce pretty quickly because otherwise we might enter some consolidation or we could even pull back a bit lower towards this secondary trend line right over here, right? Which wouldn't be a bad thing per se, but it would just mean that it needs a little bit more of a breather. Otherwise, if things do pick back up pretty quickly, we'll probably just get a bounce right off this uptrend line and keep moving higher, which is completely possible at this point just because we do have quite a bit of room up until where our upper Bollinger Band is. As far as the indicators go, we are starting to slow down on the MACD, really starting to taper off back towards the orange line. So we'll see if we'll start dipping towards that and maybe get a bounce there. Histogram for now still downtrending and not able to break above the downtrend line on the RSI. So indicators not looking great, not horrible though because we haven't crossed back below the 70 line. So there aren't any clear indications that we're going to get some kind of bigger pullback just yet. But we might see a little bit of consolidation. And yeah, I would say that's the most that we would see at this point for now. So either some consolidation or we're going to see a bounce pretty quickly and start moving back, I guess, above $18,000 at this point. Now let's go over and see what's been going on with Ethereum. So like I said, Ethereum did actually get a pretty nice bounce today. And what's really interesting with its price action is on our previous candlestick, we actually dipped pretty low here, all the way down to $618. Those prices actually got bought up all the way right back towards $693. So buyers did sustain really nicely those lower price levels, and it looks like it isn't really going to be dropping below that anytime soon again. Of course, we never know what could happen, but it is a good sign that it was able to, quickly buy up those prices and get back above $700. Now, a couple of things that I want to point out with Ethereum is you do have to realize that we don't have that much support, right? We have a little bit of support, around $600, $615, but really our support, our true support is near $534, even a bit lower towards $518. There is a pretty big gap here where if the price were to start falling, it'd probably take a pretty big hit, but like I said, it's actually looking pretty good here where there seems to be quite a bit of strength keeping the prices up. So right now we're really maintaining above that sort of $691 mark, and we're entering a little bit of a consolidation phase here. So this is a pretty tight range, and we'll see if we'll be able to break to the upside. Right now we put in a high of $735 on our candlestick today. So we have managed to break above our $714 resistance level, but we want to make sure we can break and hold above that for a continuation back towards the all-time highs, which are currently at $784, right? As far as the indicators go, MACD still looking okay. It is starting to round back down, but for now, nothing really to worry about. The histogram, however, is tapering off, and RSI, to be honest, isn't looking that bad, right? We got a nice little bounce here off sort of this 77 mark, and we might move a bit higher. So I would say probably a tad more consolidation. We can probably see Ethereum go back towards its all-time highs pretty soon here. It may take a week or two, but it's honestly not looking too bad. So unless there's some kind of fear or drama that enters the market, I'm not really that worried about Ethereum right now. And let's go and see what's happening with Litecoin now. So Litecoin, kind of similar to Ethereum, was actually looking pretty bad here because we broke through our short-term uptrend line, which is, kind of expected because it is just harder to hold these steeper uptrend lines, and you can't really expect them to do that. So we crossed below that, dropped a bit lower here, all the way down to $252.22. Now that was probably a really nice area to buy some Litecoin, but unfortunately those prices did get bought up, and we now even made our way back above our support level at $300 and are currently holding above that right now with our current candlestick. So this might be the beginning of a bit of a V-shaped or U-shaped bounce already. I think we put in a bottom here in the short term at around $252.22. So unless we really see a dip back below that $300 mark, Litecoin should be looking pretty good here, and pretty much slowly but surely climb back up towards that $350 area, which is our big resistance level that we want to make sure we can break above before we can retest the all-time highs that are currently at $420. So I think that can happen relatively quickly as well. Maybe about 2 weeks at the most. But I think we will be moving higher here once again for Litecoin, unless there's some kind of drama that we're not really seeing yet that could make the prices drop. There's of course the Bitcoin futures here, the other ones that are coming pretty soon, so that could affect things. But for now, it is holding above that $300 mark, and that's what we want to make sure that it holds above. For now, that's good enough basically. And as far as the MACD goes, still looking okay. Histogram is starting to move back lower. RSI still above the 70 line, so we're okay there. Let's go over to Ripple now. Obviously a very big mover, pretty volatile actually. And let's take a look at how it's been acting. So got a pretty big pullback yesterday after our massive increase, and we did put in a bit of a double top. So we went all the way down to 57 cents, bounced very strongly off that actually. You can see the long lower wick here, which means that buyers did buy up those price levels. And we kind of are bouncing off the upper Bollinger Band here with our current candlestick, putting in a doji candlestick. And from here, it's pretty hard to say what's going to happen next, right? My inclination would be to say that it's definitely a good sign that we have this doji candlestick over here after this nice increase. So I think that we're either going to get, basically a bit of a bounce here and break above our 77 cents high that we put in on this candlestick. So basically start climbing higher, right, back towards 83 cents, and then eventually 90 cents. But if we don't see a strong bounce, I mean, it doesn't have to be super strong, but if we don't see a clear bounce, I would say we're probably just going to see a bit of consolidation where we enter back in a horizontal manner back into the Bollinger Band range, right? But I don't really see Litecoin dropping, at least below 50 cents anytime soon. I think that now we're really in a whole new ball game where it's probably going to stay pretty stable at these levels at least, and probably even start climbing higher slowly but surely. Of course, it got a big move, so it may have to take a little bit of breather. That's pretty possible at this point, but I think that it's going to hold this 70 cent area pretty well at this from here on out. As far as the indicators go, still looking good. Got a little bounce off the 80 line on the MACD, on the RSI, which is always a good sign. And histogram MACD still looking very strong. So Ripple is not really showing any signs of weakness right now, despite its really big pullback. And let's see what's been going on with Neo. It seems like it got a pretty nice bounce today, which is actually something I predicted in my previous daily crypto update. So got in, put a high on this candlestick of $52.87. Now we have a couple of formations here in the making. We have this little bit of sorry about that. That's not the line that I wanted to put in. We have a little bit of a downtrend line in the making here. Let's see, which corresponds to the high of these candlesticks right over here. So somewhat of a asymmetrical triangle in the making in the very short term, as you can see over here. We'll want to see to which side it'll break above, and that's what's currently kind of putting the prices at lower prices for the time being, especially at this $50.36 area. We have almost a triple top here. Now, it is always possible that there's just not enough weakness at the time being where we could drop back a bit lower, maybe bounce off $43 and hopefully start climbing back up. That's definitely possible, but I think we will see a move higher here for NEO pretty quickly. We really get a nice breakout above 55 cents. So I can see that happening in the next week or two. The indicators are actually kind of indicating that because we're really moving up nicely, still uptrending on the histogram and MACD. And a nice interesting bounce here on the RSI, which kind of seems like we're going to start breaking through those resistance levels pretty soon. So not enough strength just yet, but we should see that coming in due time here. Let's go over and see what's happening to Vertcoin. Now, Vertcoin is one that I'm paying very close attention to, and we are holding above our middle band, which is a very good sign. We definitely don't want to drop back below that for the time being, right? If we flatten out and then we trade kind of alongside it like we did over here, even if we dip a bit lower, that's fine, but we just don't want to, see basically everything start to downtrend, I would say. If we hold above this $7.21 level, that's the main thing, and we just want to consolidate for the time being over here. Today's move is actually pretty nice candlestick, kind of an engulfing candlestick where we could now maybe start to see it move a bit higher in the $8 range, because when it dips a bit lower, right down towards $7, it gets a little bit worrisome, but for now it's still looking okay, and the indicators, not really anything special to say. RSI bouncing a little bit, MACD still below the orange line and probably going to consolidate a little bit more. We could see, like I said, a bit of a bounce here towards this $9.39 area. Probably still going to see a bit of consolidation for Vertcoin, but at least it is showing that it doesn't really want to, come crashing below the middle band. So yeah, we could even maybe expect to trend a bit to the upside on that. And yeah, I would say that that's about all there is to say for now. I will definitely buy up the prices if I see that it starts breaking out even higher. And yeah, I'm just accumulating, pretty strategically here for Vertcoin. Let's go and see what's happening to Monero. And we can see that we got a little bit of a pullback, broke below our short-term uptrend line. Those were very steep uptrend lines, so wasn't really expecting those to hold. Finally getting a little bit of consolidation here for Monero, which is good, and currently trading above $305. That's our support level. Now we may see a little bit more consolidation all the way up until our uptrend line over here, where we can maybe get a bounce and help push the prices higher. But it is getting a bounce here, so we could already see it start to move higher. As far as the indicators go, we're holding above our uptrend line on the RSI, and MACD still looking okay. So I would say that it still has a lot of strength, to be honest, right? There's no real signs that we're going to see some kind of big pullback just yet. I think it'd be good to come back and maybe test this uptrend line out over here, but not really worried about it. We're probably just going to, like I said, slowly but steadily climb back towards our all-time highs. Not really worried about Monero right now. It is just acting really nicely. Let's see what's going on with Omigo. And this is one thing that I predicted in my previous daily crypto update, was the breakout above $12.20. And really over the past couple days here, it's just been taking off. So let me just adjust this short-term uptrend line. Massive breakout candlestick today above that $12.20 level. That was our final resistance level before our previous all-time highs, really. And it kind of just shot all the way up there. So our previous all-time highs were at $14.44. Let's see, we made new all-time highs today. So let me just go ahead and put in a support level at our previous all-time highs. The price should be able to hold above that. I mean, it's currently a little bit struggling, so we may see it pull back a little bit towards the uptrend line, but it should continue, to move above that $15 mark, I would say, at this point. Got above average volume breakout, which is always a good sign on these type of bigger moves. Histogram MACD really taking off here, and break above the 70 line, as well as a break above our previous uptrend line. So a lot of good signals, a lot of bullish signals, shows a lot of strength, especially here on the RSI. And yeah, like I said, hopefully we can see this really climb and hold above $15. But it's acting as expected, moving back towards its all-time highs, and that's exactly what I wanted to see. I think that next stop is $20. We'll see how long that takes. It could take, maybe 1 or 2 months, but it should happen pretty quickly at this point. And let's see what's been going on with, let's see, next coin is going to be Lisk. So Lisk is, let's take a look, bouncing off the $9.75 support level. It's good that we're holding above that. We want to make sure that that continues. Don't really want to see it go back below that. I don't think that'll happen, though. We have our middle band, the brown line, of course, currently sitting at $8.43. That's coming up nicely. That'll help support the prices. We can also see that we have our upper Bollinger Band that's expanding here. As far as the MACD goes, still uptrending nicely above the orange line. Histogram, same thing, still uptrending nicely, and got a nice little uptrend on the RSI as well. So the indicators are looking good. Finally got a little bit of an uptrend in the making. I'm going to go ahead and put in an uptrend line over here so you get a better idea of where some support levels might be. And yeah, I mean, we just want to, it obviously isn't showing a huge amount of strength just yet, but like I said with Omigo and Neo just a couple days ago, we should see this one move back really towards its all-time highs, towards $12, and probably break even above that pretty quickly here, especially if it's able to hold above this uptrend line. If we see that it's trending along it, probably get a move very shortly to the all-time highs, right? Let's go over and see what's happening to Cardano. And looks like it's getting a little bit of a pullback here after its big increase yesterday, where we moved back above 1,000 Satoshis, which is really what matters at this point. And we're holding above that, which is good. Looks like we're now in a little bit of a range in this 1,100 Satoshi area. Now, a couple things that I'm going to mention as far as the indicators go, still looking fine. We weren't able to cross above the 70 line just yet, so we could probably see that happen in the near future, but wasn't able to happen this first time around, which can happen, of course, when it's the first time that it's testing a level like that. But we do want to eventually see a move above the 70 line for a big breakout. And as far as the MACD goes, still uptrending nicely above the orange line. Of course, it's just the beginning, but that's pretty much a confirmed crossover after our big dip here on the MACD. Of course, moving higher on the histogram. Now, what I do like about these candlesticks is that we can see the longer, lower wicks, right? That means that buyers are buying up these price levels and not really letting the price fall all that much, which is good. So on our previous candlestick, we kind of bounced off the middle band all the way back up here. And on this candlestick, what we're seeing is a bit of an inverted hammer candlestick. So inverted hammer candlesticks can kind of go either way, to be honest. Sometimes they kind of move back lower and we'll probably get a bounce off this 1,080 Satoshi level, or we'll just see, this is just maybe a sign of strength where buyers really don't want to see the prices fall lower, and we'll see this move even higher towards that 1,400 Satoshi level, right, which is going to be a bit of a resistance area, but after that should be able to move back towards the highs here. Let's go over and see what's happening with Iota finally. So obviously it went through a lot of drama, pretty controversial drama over the Microsoft partnership issue. I'm not really going to get into too many details of that because it wasn't even really clear 100% what happened, but it looks to be recovering, which is good. Now, got a bounce basically off the, let's see, low of $3.32. It's good that it didn't drop below $3. Holding above the middle band, of course, is very important here as well. Didn't manage to bounce back above the orange line on the MACD. That would be good if that happens soon. And we are negative currently on the histogram. So hopefully this is just going to be very temporary and we'll flip back over very shortly here. But who knows at this point. RSI found support on the 60 line. So that's a level that we'll pay attention to. And I think that should serve based on, what's happening as far as the news goes. That 60 line is going to be pretty important because it shows that we got to bounce off that on our first drop. So if we move back below that 60 line, I think that'll really confirm that the price will move lower. However, if we're able to hold and even move higher, that's obviously going to be a positive sign, right? As far as the price action goes, we weren't able to go above the $4 and basically above $4, a little above that where our resistance level is. Looks like $4 and about 4 cents. weren't really able to hold above that. And that's something that we do want to see, right? Because currently we're not really holding on much support. We're just holding on the bottom that we put in, which is fine because it does look like we did put in a little bit of a bottom with these two candlesticks over here. And we might start to get a bit of a U-shaped bounce. But there is quite a bit of resistance here, and we do want to try to get as soon as possible back above that $4.04 level. So after that, if it has enough strength, it could really, break back above these trend lines, both our uptrend line and downtrend line, or we're kind of going to move more horizontally, cross in that horizontal manner through the downtrend line, and then that'll leave us a bit more room to move up towards the upside, right? And at that point, the only thing to worry about would be our previous uptrend line and the resistance level at $4.74. So I would say it could go either way here, but what we want to make sure is that we can move above $4.04 and that we don't just test this level and start moving lower, right? That would obviously be a bad sign. And if that does happen, which is of course is possible, it depends on how traders are looking at the situation. But if that does happen, we'll have really put in a bit of a short-term downtrend line. That's the line that I drew right here. I'm going to change the color just to not make it too confusing. Let me put that in blue. I'm going to make that just a little bit bigger so you get a better idea of what to expect. But that's this blue line right here. If we're not able to make a move above that, it'll mean that we're putting in really a bit of a downtrend in the short term that will send the prices lower, right? With that being said, everyone, I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.